Hello friends, and welcome back to our little coffee club. Today's gonna be a tutorial video, so I don't have all the nice lighting out and none of that kind of stuff that we usually do. I wanted to show you first. You see my tripod there. It's gonna be holding the phone in this angle so that you guys could see what's going on with the Duo. I'm going to show you how to calibrate it. I finally got around to doing this job that I've been saying that I'm gonna do for the last probably like 6 months. But today's the day. As a matter of fact, I already did it. I already calibrated it because I've looked up a couple of videos as to how to do this job, and they make it seem so complicated that, you know, I didn't want to be recording the video like I do all my other videos. I kind of try to teach you things when it's the very first time I'm doing it, and as I'm figuring it out and showing you how to do it. And that's just not the way I wanted to tackle this job. Although today I could have easily have done it. So if you've been postponing on how to calibrate your Duo, you don't really want to get into it and it feels like complicated, oh my goodness, it is so easy. Let me give you the good news first, okay? It is so simple. There is no bad news. It's good news and more good news. So it's extremely easy, okay? So, and I'm gonna explain it in a very simple way that you can follow along. The videos I've seen so far, and there's not many on YouTube. There's very few videos, and really they make it seem so complicated. But anyway, I have my tools for cleaning it, because the first thing you should do is clean it out well. Okay, so take out your burrs, clean out the grinder very well. You guys know how I use the little vacuum, and of course my brushes. You see all the different brushes and rags and stuff, and I cleaned it out. So first thing you got to do is clean it completely out, and then well, I have a separate video as to how to clean the niche Duo and swap out the burrs and all of that stuff. So if you want to see that particular video, comment below here on the comments, and I will provide you a link to that video so you can watch that as well. But today it's all about calibrating it. So let me put the phone on the tripod and continue from there. All right, so if it is your first time here on the channel, consider joining us. This channel is all about coffee related videos. Usually what I do is share my brew sessions here at home with you guys. We review coffees. That's mainly what we do here. But every now and then I will make a tutorial video like this one. Every now and then we get out to coffee shops and explore around town, or maybe in an area that I happen to be visiting. This is a channel that you can be a participant of. If you comment below, I answer everyone. And by the way, guys, there's been a couple of situations where YouTube is having some kind of issue posting your comments. Now, I don't know what that's all about. I haven't been able to figure that out yet. But if you see that I don't answer you for some reason, please reach out on Instagram. Okay, my Instagram comes up at the end of every single video. Look me up, send me a DM there on Instagram, send me a direct message, and I will answer you, okay? But usually I see the comments below and I will answer you. But every now and then we've been having some trouble. Okay, without further ado, and before someone gets triggered because I'm taking too long, let's get right into it. Now, like I said, I already performed the job on my grinder because I thought it was going to be so complicated, and it ended up being extremely easy. Okay, so how do you even know if your grinder needs calibration? Okay, well, in my case, I knew I needed to calibrate because when grinding for espresso, I kept having to go below 0 to get the correct grind size. So then I checked to see if my burrs would touch at 0, and they were not. So when you go all the way to 0, you should hear your burrs touching. Okay, I will show you that in a second. In my situation, I had to go at around, you see, this is right here is 5 notches, right? That's 10. So that's 5. So I had to go about 5 notches below 0 before I heard any sign of my burrs touching. And every now and then I had to go at around 2, maybe even 3 notches below 0 to grind fine enough for the shot that I was trying to pull. And of course that's not ideal, because if you wanna use a different coffee, or you move your grinder for whatever reason, maybe you wanna do filter coffee and you have to go all the way to 30, then when you go back, you cannot tell exactly where you were. So you never want to be below 0. Okay, at 0 your burrs should touch, okay, and you should hear the chirping of the metal against metal. Okay, that means your burrs are touching, and you should never have to grind below 0. Okay, so in my case, I knew I had to do it for that reason, because I kept having to go below 0 to get the correct grind size. So like I said, I already performed the job. So what's the easiest way of doing this? Well, I'm gonna have to take the phone off the tripod for a second to show you. All right, so it ended up being easier to just leave the phone on the tripod and reposition the grinder. Although my cord is kind of barely reaching there, so it's not like I can pull it out a whole bunch more. But okay, anyway, what you wanna do is, you see, for your grinder to run, this little piece of plastic here needs to actuate this little red button. So it needs to press it down. It's like a safety feature. You know, they don't want the grinder to be running with the lid open, and then maybe, I mean, I don't see how in the world this is gonna be possible where something, why would you know, listen, I don't know, all right? But it's a safety feature. It's a safety feature. You have to close the lid. This little plastic piece is gonna actuate the little red button, press it down, and then the grinder would run, okay? So like this, okay? Now it's on, lift the lid, this is no longer pressing this, and the grinder stops, okay? So now, the reason why it's important for you to see that is because for us to check to see when the burrs are touching, you wanna cheat this button. So now I'm gonna press it with this pencil, see? Okay, I press it down so that it will run with the lid open, okay? So let me reposition this thing again so we can go to the next step. But that's the first thing you need to understand. All right, so let's go back again to this setup so you guys could see when I move the setting and you see the little marker that tells you where you're set at, okay? As soon as I go to 0, you should hear the burrs touching, okay? So let's try that, let's try that. So for me to try that, I'm gonna have the lid open, cheat the little red button, make the grinder run like this, and then we're gonna go to 0. Can you hear that? Okay, I'm pretty sure you guys were able to hear that, where it barely starts to chirp, where the metal's touching the metal. And that's basically how you want to set your 0 point. Now, there is a chance, since this is the first time I do this, and I will test to see if it's working the way I want it to work on the next video. So the next video we'll do some espresso, I'll grind on the Duo, and hopefully we go really fine with whatever coffee it is. But I should never have to go below 0. Now, if need be, I will adjust it again and just move it a little bit more. Now, let me show you how to do this and how easy it is to get this done, okay? So basically, you just have to, if you have a Duo, you know how this process goes to change out your burrs, right? You move this wheel. Okay, and you remove this. Now, if you have a 0 like I do, okay, I have the Duo, and basically I'm gonna be using the Duo for my filter coffee and the 0 for my espresso. But, if I wanna go back and forth, I have both burr sets, so why not? Every now and then I might wanna do espresso with the Duo. So, but the 0 has the same kind of setup where this piece, okay, this piece and the black ring, they move independently. And on the 0, whenever you take it apart to clean it and stuff like that, you might want to check your calibration. I've done a video as to how to calibrate the 0 as well, and it's pretty easy. So is this one though. They just make it seem like it's not, but it's very easy. So all you got to do, you see, this is what locks. You see this little red knob here? This little knob locks the black ring together with this ring so that when you move it and you want to switch out your burrs, you don't accidentally mess up your calibration. Okay, so maybe they should have done the 0 in a similar way so that you don't always have to be recalibrating it. But anyway, whatever, this one has it. So now, one thing I noticed is that mine came from factory, this was completely loose. And maybe that's the reason why it was not calibrated from factory. Maybe they calibrated the grinder and forgot to lock this down or didn't lock it hard enough and it moved. And that's why that's why I had the problem in the first place, right? Because it's supposed to be calibrated from factory. But I'm telling you, it was completely loose, okay? So, you move it to the right, so clockwise, to tighten it. And now it's tight, okay? And you move it counterclockwise or to the left, the old, how does it go? Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty? Okay, so you move it to the left to loosen it. And there, now it's loose. So the first step you want to do when you're going to calibrate is you want to loosen this up. That's all you have to do. Just loosen it up. Don't take it out. Don't remove it. Just loosen it up well so that the black ring is not locked together with the chrome one, okay? So now once you loosen it, just, put it back in. Okay, you're gonna put it back in. Now, if you don't, by the way, guys, if your grinder's not really clean, like if you're on your day-to-day usage, let's say you're at grind 50 you're doing some filter coffee at grind size 50, and then you wanna do espresso and go down to like 10. It's gonna, you're gonna barely be able to move it a little bit and it's gonna get so tight you won't be able to move it. So, and that happens because of small little particles that are inside the burrs, okay? So, usually you get around that by running it a little bit and then moving it a little bit more. You run it a little bit, and you move it a little bit more until you move it all the way down. But when the grinder and the burrs are spotless, the way it is now, you can easily move it all the way around. Okay, so that's something key for you to understand. So, yeah, it should be easy enough until it gets really tight. Mine, it gets really tight, maybe about 15, 20 notches below zero. But by then, the burrs are completely locked. It's not just barely touching, it's completely locked. So you don't want that, okay? You just want it to barely touch. So now, you might want to start like a grind size 15, something like that. You cheat it, you run it, and you go down until you hear it chirping. Now mine is already chirping at 0. If you saw that, it already chirps at 0, but it was not. I had to go all the way over here, okay, for you to start hearing it chirp. Now, because I loosened up the little knob inside, okay, now you can independently move this little marker. Okay, so you just use your nail or something and push it over and put it at 0. That's all you have to do. And then move it back and forth, maybe bring it back out to 10, go back to 0, make sure it's touching. Okay, now you tested it. Now when you remove it, because it's loose, just be a little bit careful. You know what, I'm gonna maybe make it a little bit tighter so that I have to move it in this way. By the way, it has like steps. You're gonna feel it. It has like, well, you'll feel it. Once you start moving that, you're gonna feel what I'm saying. So yeah, I moved it one more little notch. Now let's test just one more time. Let me put the mic right up to this thing so you guys could hear. I can't be holding it. Maybe if I put it here. Yeah, let's put the mic right there. Hopefully it works well. All right, let's see. Okay, now it starts touching just before 0. So I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I wanna play it safe. I wanna make sure I never have to grind below 0. That's the main thing. And now I'm gonna lock it. Now, once you lock it, you should never have to calibrate again, and you're gonna get used to the numbers where you are always grinding at, right? So you're gonna get used to it. Maybe before you were grinding more like at a grind size I'm talking about for like myself, okay? For filter coffee, I was normally grinding somewhere between 30 and 50, depending. Maybe now it'll be more like 35 to 55, or maybe 40 to 60, or something like that, because I changed my 0 point, okay? But this is the way you want it, because once you go to espresso and you're grinding finer and finer, again, you want to make sure that you never have to go below 0. This should definitely be enough for that never to happen. So let me clip the mic back on and we'll continue. All right, hopefully That explains it. So now you remove it. Now be careful when you remove it that you don't touch the black ring and mess up your setting again. So just do it this way so where you're not really taking any chance of like touching down here. Okay. And you remove this and now you lock it. Okay, so again, to the right or clockwise. Yeah, mine was completely loose, guys. It was just completely loose. Tighten it until you can't go anymore. Okay, right there. I can't move it anymore, so it's locked. Wow, this process is so easy. And the couple of videos that I had seen, it just, man, they made it seem like so like complicated. It is so simple. All right, I'm gonna try this just one more time. Let's try it just one more time. So, all right, let's see. When we get down to 0, actually it should start chirping at around 1.5 notches, like right around here. It starts to chirp a little bit, and by 0, you can really definitely hear it. So actually, again, you know, when you take it off, you kind of maybe move the thing a little bit or whatnot, and now it seems like it's touching right around 1. So I'm glad that I made the last little extra adjustment. Okay, definitely at 0 is definitely chirping. And it starts right around 1. Okay, so that's perfect. I think I'm gonna be really happy with that calibration. All right, so that's definitely the way you do this job. It's so simple, so easy. Again, I should have done this a while back. On the next video, okay, I'm going to record a brew session. We're gonna grind with the Duo and dial in an espresso and see. I should never have to go below 0 again. So for the next few videos, maybe we'll do espresso on the Duo. After that, once I know it's working the way I want it to work, after that, I will switch out back to the brew burrs on my Duo and use it mainly for my filtered coffee every single morning, and I'll keep the 0 for my espresso. All right, so thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys a whole bunch. My little coffee family here on YouTube. Again, please subscribe to the channel, help us out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Please give the video a like, comment something below. Again, I answer everyone, so leave me a comment, and if you need a little bit of additional help for whatever reason, let me know. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on Sunday.